Well, here we are. The Bold Lady. It's a pretty fucking cool name for a pub, isn't it? For some reason, every time I, yeah, sometimes the mouse doesn't recognize me on the screen. Kind of weird. That's the new bug. Again. I keep encountering bugs in this game when I, slums. When I record them. The road from the house to Leonardo's friend was long. But luckily, after some time, I met a traveller merchant with extra space in his wagon. And an interesting company. He took me to the gates of Rome, but when I told him what part of the city I was destined, he shook his head. Apparently, Leonardo wasn't kidding when he mentioned the slums. Yes, really don't want to go into the slums. There's no reason to talk to these because you can't. So let's do this quickly. Yeah, so this next part is super dialogue heavy. If you watch my my playthrough of the second game, I did mention that this game has a lot of cutscenes, and they're not really interesting. I'm sorry, I don't find it interesting enough, you know. But here we go. That's where you can left click to hold to skip.
You, Giacomo.
Look, how did you pronounce my name?
They waiting for you upstairs.
It's Giacomo. Oh, Giacomo. Oh, I better get used to that name because...
Don't worry. Don't keep them waiting.
Why the hell are you British? I don't understand. You're supposed to be in fucking Italy, mate. Why do you sound like me? Well, you don't sound like me, but you know what I mean. Why have they just not... Oh, God, it angers me. It angers me more than it needs to. I don't know why it angers me. Why have they just not bothered? Like, there is no... I mean, English people probably... Would there be English people in Italy at this time? Probably not. Because British aren't known to be the most hospitable people. But yeah, there's something about hearing... Or playing a game set in like 1508 Italy and everyone having British accents. Like... Okay, so the voice acting number 2 was hit and miss. The voice acting in this game is absolutely dog shit. This Luca, it's got to be the worst voice actor I've ever heard. You know what I mean? They've changed Leo's voice as well, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. I think they have. I don't remember him sounding what he does in this game. They did it in the second game. But all the lip syncs off. Like there's absolutely no attempt to even bother lip syncing, which makes the animations and the cutscene so... It's like watching like a like you know when I was young I used to watch like 70s old dubbed Chinese martial arts movies. You know, if you ever watched one of them before, you know what I mean by the really shitty subbing or the lip syncing. It's the same as this. You'll see what I mean. This is the bloody long conversation, and I'm gonna turn my mic off and I'm just gonna zone out. I'll be enjoy is what I'm gonna say.
Tell me, what do you think about all this? Giacomo! God be praised! I knew you could do it, but I was still worried. Did you bring the Chronicle? We were successful after all. Just as I hoped. The Chronicle records the whole history of this secret order, this Ordo Justitalis. I will need a moment to find what we are looking for, but this is immensely interesting. I should probably introduce you. Next to me stands my great friend and advisor. I owe much to him and consider him the most erudite friar in the whole clergy. Honorable 𝘨𝘦𝘴𝘩𝘦𝘪𝘳.
Don't exaggerate, Leonardo. You underrate my brothers.
That is not my intention, but it is still my opinion. And before us is my disciple and assistant, about whom I have spoken so much. A man possibly brought to me by fate itself to help me carry the weight of my burden. Messer 𝘨𝘦𝘴𝘩𝘦𝘪𝘳 de Ferrara.
I greet you, Giacomo. Please, don't blame Leonardo for his bluntness. He couldn't wait to read the Chronicle. I'm sure you've noticed that when he gets like this, there is no talking to him. Sit down, have a bite. You must be tired after your journey. We have a veritable feast here. Vegetables, pastries, fruit. More vegetables. Well, your master isn't the funnest person in the world, but you surely noticed that as well.
Luca makes fun of me often, but this time I'm really not able to find out where the point is hiding. He would do better to focus on real problems.
See? Just like I said. But seriously, real problems. I'm sure Leonardo told you how, once upon a time, he met Cesar Borgia with members of a secret society. They brought fragmented plans for some strange machine and asked him to construct it for them. At first he agreed, but when he found out what a terrible weapon the machine could become, he decided not to give it to them.
I see. There can be no more doubt. The secret society was indeed 𝘨𝘨𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮𝑒. They also had plans for the time machine, however incomplete, because in the past they had a similar time machine, so why did they need my help?
Either way, in the end, 𝘨𝘨𝘮𝑒𝑗𝑡𝑎𝑙us took the machine from the Tower of Badia Fiorentina. Shortly after Leonardo used it, and just moments after you did as well, Giacomo, when you tried to save your very life from the half-crazed Borgia who took your glove before you came to? I wonder what the story was with the Duke. When they came with the plans, he seemed to have a position of power within the Order, but after your escape to Florence, they didn't cooperate at all. And that's something we should thank Providence for, because until 𝘨𝘨𝘮𝘮𝘮𝑒𝑡𝑎𝑙us obtains one of the gloves, they can't use the machine, even if they are able to reconstruct it.
Aha! Here, right at the end of the Chronicle. But the year 1465 after Christ came. And for the order of the justice, the world was never the same. During that event, their time machine, which they'd called the Gate of the Temple of Wisdom, must have been damaged. That is why they needed my help.
So, to summarize, the Order took Leonardo's time machine, and we don't know where. Borgia took Giacomo's glove, and we don't know where. At least, we still have the one Leonardo came with, which is broken. Seriously, gentlemen, and I say this as your friend, you should start looking after your things.
That would be an excellent analysis, Luco, if not for the sarcasm and one small mistake that I will correct in a moment. But before that, could you give me the glove?
Here it is. Pretty, but broken.
Fortunately, that does not matter at all. There is one thing I haven't told you yet, my friends. When Borgia came to me all those years ago, he had not only those incomplete plans to build a time machine, but also 3 ampules with a strange liquid. I don't know where they came from, but they react to open the gate of time. Thanks to them, I can determine where the gate should take us. One ampule is set in each glove, and one in the Oculus Perpetua. Each of them, when set correctly, will allow us to jump through the gate a maximum 15 years in time. This means that if we wanted to travel back to the original time machine in the year 1465, 45 years in the past, we would need all 3 of them.
So you insist that we need to destroy the original time machine? Completely wipe it from history? No matter the risk, no matter how hard it might be?
As long as the Order has the plans and the will to use it, mankind will never be safe from the invention. I regretted having started working on the time machine, But what do you think would have happened if I had sent them away?
I suppose they would try to find someone else? But I'm sure that nobody else would be able to finish it with such incomplete plans.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. But if not now, then what about in a year, 10 years, 1,000 years? Sooner or later, someone would do it. All it would take would be one moment of weakness and a great deal of naivety or bad intentions, and the world as we know it could cease to exist. No, my friend, trust me that there is no other way. The machine should never have been in human hands.
You are right, Leonardo. I know you have thought about it for a long time, and I trust that your decision is not made lightly. I think I can speak for the both of us when I say that we stand behind you. Well, I think it is high time that we told 𝘨𝘨𝘮𝘴 the whole truth about why we met here.
All right. It is true that we don't know where the time machine is, but we know how to get the third ampule because Borgia will surely keep the glove close. And we do know where he is hiding. Right there, just across the street, in the tall building.
Couldn't have found a better hiding spot. No normal person would step foot in this neighborhood. Marco was rather surprised when he saw him here. Marco is the jolly man who welcomed you downstairs. He has a lot of friends around, and they learned that Borgia's hideout is very well prepared for, uninvited guests. But right next to it is a burnt pub. Perhaps it would be possible to get inside through that.
Just before you arrived, Marco informed us that Borgia left. We have a unique opportunity to get in and take the glove. 𝘨𝘨𝘮𝘴, out of all of us, you are best suited for this task. We leave it in your hands. Be careful.
So, what did I tell you, eh? How boring was that? That's like 10 minutes of my life I wasted sitting for a fucking cutscene. A story that makes zero sense and doesn't need to be. Something about that guy's awful voice. He's British. He's more British than I am. And again, something about the way they pronounce his name. It's like the voice actors couldn't make up the mind. You have to pronounce it as 𝘨𝘨𝘮𝘴 or 𝘨𝘨𝘮𝘡. What's more annoying is later on, Leo jumps between 𝘨𝘨𝘮 and 𝘨𝘨𝘮 in the same fucking sentence, in like the same conversation. It's so distracting. It's like they don't give a shit, you know. I mean, kind of didn't give a shit if they didn't even bother employing people who actually aren't fucking British. Oh man. Yeah, I am complaining a bit, aren't I? Yeah, I can't help it. It angers me. So, yeah, I'm still slightly upset. Like, if you take away the shitty, boring-ass cutscenes, like, the puzzles in this game, they're not bad. This game's way too easy, though. Like, it's like they invested so much time trying to finish a story that they never really understood how to end. You know? And instead of, like, making this game interesting. 'Cause I think the game feels short. Not because the puzzles are easy, but because they just stand around too much waiting for people to shut up. You know? Ugh. So this pub burnt down because these fucking cats burnt it down. Which is quite funny. I mean, to be honest, who has candles in a pub, like, next to wine and the shit? It's your own fault you pub burnt down. So what we're doing is... in here? You're not gonna... Let me do this first. There you go. Pink. Puts out the candle. No candle, no burning pub. Like, do people just forget this burnt down? Or did they come back and go, hold on, it's not burnt down. I'm pretty sure I burnt this place down, and now it's back to normal. How does that work? Yeah. Same with weird changing time, isn't it? So our objective is through here. That's not very safe, is it? So this is the big puzzle. It looks difficult. It's not really. Every time I get, I mean, this area, when I get in, when you get behind this door, there's like an alchemy chemistry set. That's pretty. There's a lot of bits, and it's difficult to know where to start. So yeah, should be fine though. Like I said, I've done this before, so take that, take that. We'll read it in a bit. Really can't be arsed at the moment. We are going up here to put this in here. Take. Yeah, I still can't. The Luca guy, you have to listen to him talk again later on for a while. And did you sort of mean by the how the voices don't, the lip sync doesn't match, or sometimes the subtitles don't show up? It's I don't know why they released this game so half-assed. It's like it was made by English people. I mean, I don't know if Blue Point Studios is English. I wouldn't be surprised knowing how shoddy this game is, but you know what I mean. It's like these are disappointing. It is. Like I was really looking forward to this game, and then it just turned out to be a massive piece of shit. So this puzzle in front of us, if you activate your vision, all you're doing is matching this up with whatever one of these match it. So it's, I think it's reversed, so black is white and white is black, so it should be that one, and then it would change. It's not that one. It'd be would be that one. This is, it's easy, and then they start ranking up in difficulty soon. This one. But again, it's not difficult. Just match the shapes. Unfortunately, we can't. It's not this one. Oh, I've got the hiccups. It's down here. Come on. And that one is one. No, that's not the right one. No, yeah, you told me nothing happens. So that one. Looks similar. It looks similar. Not that one. Not that one. Is that it? Yeah. All that to get that. Like even this spider on here, you don't really notice it unless you look, but it's just a flat texture. There's no 3D-ness to it. It's just flat. It's like it's just thought out like a JPEG image on top of a 3D image. It's so weird. Yeah, we come through here later, so let's do this first. Yeah, so if you're like if you're not bothered and you're skipping the story, then the puzzles are fun. But yeah, I can't get over how how shoddy everyone sounds. Even Leonardo's voice sounded completely like he was fine in the second game. I mean, yeah, he wasn't Italian, no, nowhere near, but at least his voice actor was all right. In this, his voice is way too deep. You know, it's way too much bass in his voice, and it hurts sometimes to listen. For me personally, but I am that kind of person, though. And even the flame doesn't. It just looks weird. It's like super low res. It reminds me of like Fire used to get in like the like early 2000 point and click games. You know, before like animation was really quite cool. Yeah, that's not dangerous. So we've got a tool with a rotary handle. The only way to go is this weird machine thing here. Now, this goes in here. So it was basically just a massive screwdriver. Locks that in place. Let's just start filling with things as you do. Can't move this. There's like 3 switches up here we need to activate. As you can see, the red things, which are linked to these, meaning there's 3 things we have to do on this machine to unlock each one. So, from what I remember is, here it is. Been happened. Press this button. Oh. Well, came out weirdly. That came out very weirdly. So yeah, it seems to need to close the metal frame before I can expect the machine to work. So this is what we need to open this chest. Hence why I didn't come over here, because I knew for a fact you couldn't open it. Comes in here. And we get a metal card. Right. So did Mr. Giacomo? Yeah. So the metal card is basically the machine upstairs that was just fiddling with. It's like a gun, and this metal card is a blueprint on where the gun should shoot. And if you notice, this is the same size as the weird square thing was just piddling around with this here, and this is the pattern. So it's easy to show you. If you come over to this machine, drop the metal plate in, shut lid, and then activate it. So what this does is it will punch an X or a square. No, is it an X? Yeah, it'll punch an X into these into the plates, and you have to follow the pattern. So it's 2, 3, and 4. And then all you need to do is drag this over to 2, 3, and 4 and press this button. It's 2, 3, 4. There was 1. It's that one. Then there's 2 on the second row. It's there. Then it's 1, 1, and then the last 1, 1. And then we take this back up to the weird machine gun thing, and we put it into the socket, or slot it in. And the pattern is then what it will shoot into this here. As you can see, the marks of what we just did on this. It's fairly simple, but you know, do that. There's one of them. So let's fiddle with this. Takes that off. Opens the wooden panel. Nice. So let's fiddle around with this one first because why not? So I can't use this because we need to unlock the second one. So the only thing to do now is come down to here and pump this handle. It loaded up some I don't know what they are, like arrows? No, it must be like gunpowder or something, I don't know. That loads the gun up.